thinking about buying a home in the Denver metro area and don't want to make any mistakes, or wondering what you don't know, or what you should know to make your transaction as smooth and easy as possible? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm Kathy Hansen, a local area realtor, and I'm also a suburban mom. Now, if you're wondering what makes me qualified to answer these questions, well, I've been a local realtor here in the Denver metro area for 10 years, and I'm in the business every day, probably more than I should be. I just kid. I love my job, really. And the mistakes that I see people make every day, well, I don't want you to make those mistakes. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna share with you the top 5 mistakes that I see most often. And mistake number 1 is not getting pre-approved before you go out there shopping for a home. Now, it's okay to start looking at properties online prior to getting that pre-approval. And actually, I want you to do that. I want you to get educated in regards to what does your money buy in different parts of the metro area. But to get out and look at homes prior to getting that pre-approval, well, probably not the best decision and a big mistake in my opinion for a couple reasons. One, a lot of times people are out shopping for more than what they can qualify for or more than what they want their budget to be. And then when we get out there looking at homes, you fall in love with one, or you fall in love with what that price range buys, and that's not the price range that you land in. And we don't want that to happen. And keep in mind, your pre-approval is good for months. So get that pre-approval going. Get your ducks in a row prior to us getting out there and looking at properties. I promise you, it's gonna benefit you because you're gonna know exactly what you qualify for. And you'll have had that conversation with your lender about what your budget is, because maybe what you qualify for is more than what you're comfortable in your budget every month. So you wanna have those conversations to find out, this is what I'm comfortable paying, what price range should I be shopping in? So you should set a budget and you should stick with it, which leads us into mistake number 2. Don't make an emotional decision. Now, I know that's hard to say or hard to do because buying a home is emotional. It's probably the largest purchase of your life. And I get it, that makes it emotional. However, I want you to put on your business hat. This is a business decision. It's also an emotional one, I get it, but it's a business decision. So we've got to make sure that you are not putting your emotions into this decision that you're going to make about which house to buy, how much to spend, what area of town, that kind of thing. Now, it's really easy to get out and see a home and fall in love with the gorgeous kitchen or the gorgeous fireplace like this one right behind me, or the beautiful backsplash, and then not realize that the things in this home don't fit your needs, such as a fenced yard, or maybe the garage, or maybe the bedrooms and bathrooms makeup, or that there's something majorly wrong with the home, but you don't see it because you love this fireplace. You love that tile surround. And to tie it back into mistake number 1, maybe you're not even qualified for this amount. So we don't want your decisions to be made emotionally. And your realtor, or me, let it be me, will help keep you grounded. That's one of the reasons why we're here. We have our business hat on. We don't make emotional decisions because we're not a party to the contract. And we might be able to help you see things that you're overlooking because you see the aesthetics or how pretty a property is. And the last thing in regards to making an emotional decision that's kind of tied to it, don't make any decisions or don't negotiate once you've been drinking or partaking in something else. Make your decisions with a clear mind. There's plenty of time to celebrate after you get the home or after you close on the property, but don't celebrate early and don't celebrate while you're negotiating. Now, mistake number 3 is not having your own realtor. Now, what do I mean by that? I see a lot of people that say, I'll just call the listing agent. That way I'm gonna get a better deal if I go through them. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, and it could be very detrimental to you having a smooth and seamless transaction. And keep in mind, just because you want to use the listing agent in hopes of getting a better deal, well, it's not only your decision, because the seller would have to change their representation, basically to no representation at all, and they might not want to do that. The way it happens is the listing agent turns into a transaction broker. And think of it this way, a transaction broker is like a referee. So nobody, not either side, gets any representation. And as a referee, through the process, well, what they can do is they can present contracts to you. They can explain where to find the information and explain the contract, and they can show you where to sign. But they can't help you with any negotiations. They can't give you their opinions. They can't guide you through the process. But when you have your own representation, think of it like a coach. A coach could guide you. They can advise you. They can give you their opinions. And that's what you want when you're making the largest purchase of your life. You don't want a referee between the two parties. You want a coach. And if you find yourself in multiple offer situation and you go to the listing agent in hopes of getting a better deal and they've called for highest and best, well, guess what? You're not getting the coaching and the guidance in order to write and a winning offer, an offer that will meet the highest and best of the seller. Usually those offers aren't getting accepted. So don't make this mistake. Hire your own realtor and have your own coach on your side, somebody who's going to represent you and your best interest throughout the transaction. Mistake number 4 is not being flexible. Now, through the transaction, you're going to have some things that are non-negotiables, whether that's the type of home that you purchase, whether that's the amount that you're going to spend on the home, or maybe it's regarding inspection and repair items. Your realtor is going to be able to guide you on what is reasonable with these non-negotiables given the present market and what isn't reasonable. For instance, a home might need a new roof, and that might be one of your non-negotiables because 1, you don't have cash to pay to get a new roof put on, or 2, you're worried that your insurance company won't insure your property because the roof is not up to par, because the roof isn't a good working roof. And having that as a non-negotiable, it's pretty reasonable in my opinion. What I'm talking about though is being flexible. I mean, you might have to give up that perfectly beautiful, aesthetically pleasing home to find a home that has all of the systems up to date, or all of the big ticket items have been taken care of and they're in good working order. Remember, you can always change paint color, light fixtures, flooring, and cabinets, and some of that might have to wait a while. I get it because it all costs money. But the major items, like your sewer lines, or the furnace and AC are on their last legs, or maybe you have an electrical panel that's been recalled due to safety issues. Or maybe this property has polybutylene piping, and that could cost you an arm and a leg to have the whole home repiped. Those are things that you need to be flexible on. It might be beneficial to you to find a home without polybutylene piping that might need some paint and light fixtures, as opposed to the one that's aesthetically pleasing but has some of these big major ticket items wrong with the property. So not being flexible is a big mistake. Remember, there's so much more to buying a home than just a beautiful backsplash. And lastly, the 5th biggest mistake that I see people make is not doing their own due diligence. Now, Colorado is a buyer beware state, so the due diligence falls on you as the buyer. The seller does have some obligations to disclose certain things to you though throughout the transaction, but it's on you to get your inspections done. Don't forego your sewer scope, your radon testing, your general inspection to save a few bucks here in the beginning. And don't have your cousin's best friend be your inspector, or your dad who's not even in the business inspect the home for you. Hire a professional, do your proper due diligence on the home that you're gonna purchase. And check with county permits. Find out what permits have been pulled on this property. That's not on the seller, that's on you as the buyer to do your due diligence and buyer beware. So again, make sure you're getting wise counsel. Do your due diligence because this is, once again, probably the largest purchase of your life. So make sure you do it right. Now, I don't want to scare you with these top 5 mistakes that I see buyers make all the time. And yes, do people make these mistakes, do these things or don't do these things, and they have a smooth, successful transaction? Yeah, it does happen. It's fewer and far between though, because things are good when they're good. When things go south, they go bad. You have a far greater chance of having a smooth transaction and getting to the closing table successfully if you don't make these mistakes. Now, if you liked this content, do me a favor, please hit that like button below. Let me know that this content was beneficial to you. It helps me out, and honestly, it helps out my channel too. And if you want to be notified when I do other videos, I post them every Tuesday, video about living in the Denver metro area, and every other Friday is a home tour. If you want to be notified when those videos go live, well, hit that subscribe button too. And remember, I'm Kathy Hansen, a local Denver area realtor. I'm also a suburban mom, and I would love to help you make your next move a smooth one. So please don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of help or a resource to you in the Denver metro area. And until next time, we'll go make today a great day.